I I don't know. Now that, like, I'm thinking about this, I feel like this is, like, kind of weird to, like, actually, like, say
Oh
out loud.
lordy. Oh goodness.
So to all the listeners, before the episode started, Amanda was like, "I don't know, like, what we're gonna talk about today and whatever." And I was like, "Well, I've been having, like, a thought that I figured we can kinda just, like, talk about on the podcast." And the whole time, like, we've been talking so far, I've really been, like, thinking about it and, like, how, like, I really wanna say this, and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Man, maybe this actually isn't something to, like, talk about because 'cause I'm like, it just
Oh boy.
sounds I feel like it just sounds, like, kind of weird."
Welcome to another episode of Mindset Talks Podcast. It's your girls Amanda.
And Cassie.
Girl, you gonna have to keep introducing yourself because I'm not
I
getting
didn't know
yelled
you
at
were gonna
again.
do that. I
I'm not
was
getting yelled at.
No, well, thank you, I appreciate that, but I was in my head and I was like, "Why whenever you say, like, Mindset Talks podcast, I always have the urge to say woo," and I'm like, "Ooh, I need to stop that."
Listen, if you excited, let the people know. Everyone should be excited with us. So
I am, but
ain't
then,
nothing
like, I
wrong
don't
with
do it,
it.
like, loud enough, so, like, it just, like, sounds weird, and, people probably didn't even catch that I did it, but, like, that's what I was thinking when you introduced me, and I was like, "Oh, I guess
You're
it's
like,
my turn to talk."
hello, Earth the Cassie. Yes, yes.
Pretty much.
How are you, my lovely?
I am doing pretty well, actually. I can't complain for the first time in about 30 days.
Who's counting?
I'm just, estimating? There you go.
Okay, okay. Nice. Well,
Mhm.
it's good to see how lively you are in this episode, and I'm really interested to see what we have in store for today's episode because guys, we don't always necessarily plan every single thing we say. So,
Not at
you
all.
know, sometimes you're surprised with me or you're surprised with Cassie with what's coming out of our mouths. So, let's see what we're going to dish out today.
Well, yeah, today is definitely gonna be one of those days. But I actually had just, like, a random thought pop in my head, and this is something that, like, I need to do, and I am severely slacking, but I'm curious. Have you filed your taxes yet?
So I'm gonna say yes, I am actually one of those people. So I have a tax lady that I've been
You
going
do.
to for years. Yeah.
Is she part of,
I
like, a brand company or
yeah, she's a part of H&R Block, just your chain tax company, your chain restaurant, chain taxes. Um, she actually used to work with my mom, so my mom would always go to her every year for her taxes.
Mhm.
And, when I became someone who was being taxed on their paychecks, because, I used to babysit. So, babysitting's under the table. You don't
Oh,
get
yeah.
nothing taken out. So, once I started getting taxed on these checks, I used to go with my mom. And then, after my mom passed, I still stayed consistent with the same person. So
Mhm.
I actually do schedule an appointment every year for the following year. So that
Oh.
way, yeah, I most of the time do reschedule, but I usually have my appointment ready to go. I got the appointment in my calendar in my phone, so
Hmm.
I know it's coming up. But yeah, I did have my taxes filed this year.
Oh, man. See, I need to get on your level because I also use H&R Block, but I do it myself online, and
Oh.
I don't really trust myself doing it, and because now I'm having to do other people's taxes, and I'm like, "Why are y'all, like, trusting me?" Because if something goes wrong, like,
Oh
I don't
my
want you
goodness.
coming at my head, so
Right, right.
I need to severely figure that out, and I've been thinking about going to, like, a tax person, but, like, I didn't really know how to get that started, and I guess I never really thought to, like,
Mhm.
actually go to, like, H&R Block and saying, "Hey."
You should. I mean, I think that may be your easiest bet because if I didn't already have everything set up with my mom, I'd probably be in the same boat. So
Right? Yeah.
you can honestly, I don't know if you can do it online. I'm sure you can do it online. It's just schedule with someone, but I'm sure you can just go to one of the local offices because those things are everywhere, like McDonald's nowadays. So you could just
Yeah.
stop in somewhere and just say, "Hey, I need an appointment. Like,
I
get
feel
me
like
with
they're so
someone."
busy. Yeah. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, they are. They are, but I mean, I'm sure taxes really don't. I mean, mine don't take long. I'm in and out within like a good 30,
Yeah.
maybe 45.
And you
Depends
pay
on how
her,
much
right?
chit chat we do. Yes.
Right? And
That,
I feel like that's expensive.
yes, it is. It is expensive.
right? Because
And
my
it's like,
mom
God
told me,
damn.
yeah, it costs her like a couple hundred to like file her
Yes.
taxes.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
It
for
does.
that too? See, and I'm like, I don't know if it's worth it because if I can do that shit up by myself and then only pay like, what is it, like 40, 50 bucks or whatever online to
Oh shit, that's all you
file
pay?
them. Yeah, it's mad cheap to file it online. But then you have to trust yourself if you're doing it right. But I mean, it is very like self-explanatory, but
Hmm.
now I'm getting a little too far into the weeds, but like there was a time where I actually did mess up and I had to like pay back a certain
Right.
amount or
Hmm.
whatever. And but that was like my fault. I guess like I missed like a box on like my W-2 or whatever.
Oh,
So
okay.
you really just kind of have to like be careful with what you're doing because they
Hmm.
will like catch it. But
Oh, of course.
generally speaking, it is very simple, but if you
Okay.
miss something, then, you know, you
No,
just might
that's
have
not
to.
too bad. I mean, I always remember, I want to say it was some class in high school. We did taxes for like 2.2 seconds, literally
Yeah.
2.2 seconds, because it wasn't enough to remember or
No.
feel like I actually like acquired a new skill.
Mhm.
And it's just, I wish there was more of that.
Yeah,
I
same.
I would have just wish in general in high school there was more of stuff that I could use today. Like talk to me about credit, like this made up shit credit that just messes up stuff for people and holds people back from things. And
Mhm.
but yeah,
Yeah,
I
everything
might have
like
to start doing my own taxes. Like, girl, I love you and everything, but that couple $100 can go to my baby, that could go to my appetite, that
yeah.
could go to something else.
That's a lot,
Yeah.
and especially if, like, your taxes are, like, super simple, like, when you start, like, getting married and, like, I guess now it's different, like, you
Mm,
have kids and stuff like that,
right.
so maybe, like, make it a little more challenging, but I don't
Hmm.
know.
I don't think it's too bad. I mean, my thought of staying with her was, first it was, oh, I'm gonna let her go, but then I was like, oh, I bought my condo. I've never owned a home, so let me like,
That's true.
let me get that figured out. And then it was just like, oh, I'm still with her, but then it was like, oh, I'm gonna let her go. Then it's like, oh, I'm having a baby. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to hold on. So I'm gonna have to like let her go this year or something. So that way, like no more kids are randomly popping up over here talking about some keep the tax lady. Like, no, I'm trying to save money,
That's
not lose
crazy.
more.
Right, right.
But damn, yeah, now I'm gonna have to take a look at that. That's a
Yeah.
good question. Hmm.
Right? Because 'Cause I'm like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I need to really sit down and, like, do it. Cause like, when I was just on vacation, I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna do, like, the taxes," and guess what? Your girl didn't do shit.
I believe it.
And I'm kind of
Taxes,
coming
who?
down to the wire, so I really need
Right.
to get it together.
Taxes, what?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, man, but adulting is just what a great, great time.
Mm, yeah. Great adult stuff.
Mm.
Responsibilities. Speaking of responsibilities and accountability, how are we doing with our 2023 word of the year, Miss Cassie?
God. Um, Not very well. I will say that I have not been very intentional at all whatsoever in anything that I'm doing that I can think of.
Are you intentionally doing nothing?
That's a good question.
Hmm.
I don't even know if I can truly answer that because I don't remember if I've said this on the podcast or just to you like offline, but I've been in such like a weird like state mentally that like
Hmm.
I really don't think that like I don't know if I'll say, like, ever been in that kind of, like, a state, but I've just felt really, like, I don't know, like, non-motivated and just really, like, down and just
Okay.
very, like, um, I don't know, like, brain fog in a way to where, like,
Hmm.
everything is just kind of, like, static and, like, I'm literally just going through, like, the motions
Yep.
and not, like I'm not doing anything, like, nothing's fun to me, like, I don't wanna talk to anybody, like
Hmm.
I don't know. It's, like, hard to explain, so I
Sounds
wouldn't
like
say,
a
like
good case of seasonal depression. Jeez.
I mean, maybe, like, I don't maybe I've never experienced it before or I don't know.
Hmm.
It was a really weird feeling to where, like, I knew I was feeling something that, like, wasn't okay,
Hmm.
and thankfully, I feel like I am starting to, like, come out of that,
I
um,
see it.
yeah, so I don't think I can say that, like, I've been intentionally not doing anything. I just
Hmm.
think that, like, I just couldn't, like, really function.
God, you just couldn't bring yourself there.
Yeah, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
It makes sense. I mean, it makes sense for me. I don't know about for the listeners, but we understand each other on a totally
That
different
is
level.
true.
So we could just look at each other and know what the other person said without any words actually coming out of our mouths. So,
Pretty
you
much.
know, I love these types of friendships like that. Those are like the best, just look and like, I hear you. But I, that's a good response. So I'll accept that. Not that if you said something different, I wouldn't accept it, but I think that was a really good response to that because it's hard to say if you really are being intentional and not doing anything.
Mhm.
Seems like from what you've said that you really probably weren't being intentional. It was just like you said, the ebbs and flows.
Yeah, it was just weird, man. I don't know.
Mm,
It was tough.
mm. Well,
It was
hey, at least you're honest. It takes time to work on our word of the year, right? I mean, it's the word of the year, so it's not, we may not necessarily get it all the time, and we're only human. We're not made to be perfect, and sometimes I have to remind myself of that we're not made to be perfect. So,
yeah.
hey, at least you're honest in how you feel, and you're aware of it.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Yep.
We were talking about that offline. But yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of how it is with me for right now. But what about you? Have you been fearless since your last fearless escapade?
Um, have I been fearless? I have the thoughts of being fearless. I can't say I'm actually fully active in, I'm like putting it into action. But something I've been thinking about and my boyfriend and I were talking about is why aren't we doing the things that we're interested in doing?
Oh,
So if not to be all extra interested
I didn't know where you were
and
going with that one.
with a dry oh we're trying to be more into doing the things that interest us or saying that we would like to try, and that takes being fearless. It
Yeah,
even takes your word as well, being intentional.
yeah.
So I am trying to accumulate a list of things that interest me that I do want to take action and get into and experience and see, what it is to come for me.
Mhm.
But I haven't actually been fearless in actually doing anything yet. So I can't say that I have been well in being fearless. I am currently in my training class to be a supervisor, like I mentioned before.
Ooh, you did do
Um,
it?
yeah, so I'm in the class.
Okay.
It goes on until May.
Mm,
So it's every other week, and lucky me, the class is on my day off. So, how devoted am I
very.
to my job? I hope someone from my job is listening and hearing my devotion that I am spending. Luckily, it's only just an hour, but
Yeah,
it's my day off. Like we all enjoy our days off. Like I feel like I
of
already work
course.
enough, but
Mhm.
you know, um
Mhm.
so I'm doing that class and, taking a step of being a leader on a team that I am still learning in different ways. Being a
Mhm.
leader in a store in front of people that you talk to face directly is pretty different than being a leader to people on a virtual team that you have never met in person.
Yeah,
You're only talking to through, Teams chats and, video chats,
yeah, that sounds
that's
tough.
your only means of communication. So
Mm,
it's really different because then you have to think about how you're typing things and how you're saying things, and body language isn't as much of a thing. So text can just be misconstrued easily by the way you type something. So you can't tell someone's tone through text,
right, right.
So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, so it's interesting, just being in the class so far. So I look forward to what's to come. I've had some good feedback given to me about my potential, which I appreciate, but I don't feel like I don't feel unconfident about
Okay.
me being able to be in this role because I was a manager previously. So it's not
Right.
like I don't know how to lead people.
Mhm.
It's just in a different formation, which learn anything real quick, We're
Yeah,
resilient. We pick things up. So yeah,
exactly.
that's the last thing I really have for being fearless. I don't really have anything else going on right now. Um Hopefully soon I'll have something because I think it just adds a little more thrill to life and makes things a little more fun. So hopefully
Definitely.
I'll have something. When I do, I'll share it.
Well, appreciate that because I'm sure that we all look forward to it because
Mhm.
being fearless is it's definitely a fun road, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, no, my last thing of being fearless was doing that video, that genetic testing.
Yeah.
Sitting in front of a camera, like couple of cameras actually, the way they had it set up, sitting in front of a couple cameras, big ass mic hanging down and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And just sharing my story that required me to be a bit fearless. So which I hope they send me that video soon because I'm really, really excited
I know,
about
right? Like, it's
that.
been a while, come on
I've
now.
been waiting. So they said by the end of the month. So
Oh, there you go, maybe by next week.
right. Hopefully after this episode drops, I'll have some new info. Like I'll have a video to share or something to talk about
Mm,
about that video.
yes, I can't wait
Yeah. Me too.
to
Me too.
see it. That is awesome. Um,
Thanks.
so so in coming out of my weird, like, depression-y I don't even know if I wanna call it depression because
Okay.
I know people have
S-
depression and, like, I don't know, like, what that is,
Call it
whatever.
your funk.
My long-standing funk. Um,
Okay.
I I don't know. Now that, like, I'm thinking about this, I feel like this is, like, kind of weird to, like, actually, like, say
Oh
out loud.
lordy. Oh goodness.
So to all the listeners, before the episode started, Amanda was like, "I don't know, like, what we're gonna talk about today and whatever." And I was like, "Well, I've been having, like, a thought that I figured we can kinda just, like, talk about on the podcast." And the whole time, like, we've been talking so far, I've really been, like, thinking about it and, like, how, like, I really wanna say this, and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Man, maybe this actually isn't something to, like, talk about because 'cause I'm like, it just
Oh boy.
sounds I feel like it just sounds, like, kind of weird.
Oh boy.
Um, but I don't know, we'll just go with it and just see what happens here. So, I don't know what it is, but ever since last week and, like, my birthday and not really, like, doing anything, extravagant as, like, I normally would.
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like I just
I
feel like
just don't know what you're about to say, and I'm like trying to guess and I can't.
no, you can't because it's just, like, such a weird thing. But and I don't think that I've ever felt like this before after, like, having a birthday, but for whatever reason and yes, I'm about to actually spread some truth here instead of just saying 25 till the end of
I
life.
knew that was a part of what you're gonna say. Okay, go ahead.
But so ever since, like, turning 34 first and that is actually in itself really weird to say out loud.
Felt weird for you to even
Um,
say it. Okay.
right? Because that's what I am, right? 34, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. So I guess since turning 34, I feel a different type of grown.
Mm, okay.
And I don't really know, like, what it is, but I feel like whenever I, like, look at myself or, like, actually, like, sit and think, like, "Damn, like, I'm 34," like, I really just feel like a different type of grown, and, like, I don't
Mm,
even really know how else to, like, explain that.
okay.
But, like, because 'cause I've noticed in, like, past, like, conversations with, like, people and things like that, like, I've realized that, like, I was always, like, scared and, like, not ready for a lot of things, and, like, it's hard for me to, like, envision certain things happening in my life because, like, I just
Hmm.
never I don't know, maybe thought, like, I was old enough or, like, I just really, like, made that connection, I guess, of, like, how old, like, I really am, maybe? I don't know.
This bitch sitting at 25 for 25 years.
You know what I mean? And, like, I'm sure
That's
this
great.
sounds, like, really weird, but, like, I don't know, there's just something about being 24 now for, like, a week that's, like
24 or 34?
sorry, what did I say, 24?
She already jumping the age.
Oh, shit.
She went from 34 to 24. She said, fuck 25. I'm going back to 24. You really
Oh
have been
my
lying about
god.
your age for
See?
so long that you don't even know how old you are.
I don't, 'cause I don't say it out loud, like, ever.
Clearly.
Um, but yeah, I don't know, I just feel more grown, and I don't know how else to say it or explain it now that, like, I'm actually trying to, like, communicate that out loud to someone.
I so however old you are, not playing. Um, I feel like I can understand what you're saying, and I feel like it goes a little bit with, like what you were saying to me. And I don't know if it's just because like when we were together, and you're like, oh my gosh, you're just like a whole nother like you jump like a timeline type, like you're like a whole
Yes,
nother level of grown, like a
you
whole nother
just
level of
seem
mature.
so grown. Yeah.
For me, I felt like that was me at like I said at 33. Bitch, I'm still 33. I just turned 33 like 6 months ago or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But oh, actually less than 6 months
It's
ago.
like
Oh my
5.
gosh. Oh
5.
yeah, close enough, right?
Yeah,
Something like that, right?
5.
But like, whatever. I'm not 34 yet. That's all I know. But I felt like I understand what you're saying. It's like I don't know, it's just you're like leveled up in a sense. And it's
Kind of.
like, yeah, it's just like you've leveled up and there's like this shift in things and you
Yeah.
can't necessarily explain the shift because it's really just a feeling and maybe it's just like a mental development or something, you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Weird. I don't know.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, and I'm not gonna try to continue to try to explain it either because I'm just gonna talk in circles and sound crazy as hell.
Mm.
So I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. But I get what you're saying, when it comes to just being feeling like a different being in your body and just but it's like, yeah, like I don't necessarily feel older as in like old, but just kind of more mature, you know?
Right, like, I feel like I just feel like everything I'm just saying is just, like, mad weird. I don't know. Maybe I need to stop. But, like, I just
Tell us
feel
more.
like a grown ass woman now for some
Mhm.
reason. Like, not to say, like, I felt like a kid before, but,
Mhm.
like, I don't know. I just feel more womanly. Like, when I look in the
Yeah.
mirror and, like, just, like, thinking about things, and I'm like, "Damn, bitch, like, you're 34." Like,
It's
yes, I've come,
crazy.
like, a long way in my life, but, like, I really need to, like, start doing my word and being, like,
Mhm.
intentional in things like that, and I'm thinking a lot about, like, my job and, like, my career and things, and, like, I really just, like, need to, like, I don't know, like, get it together, like, be more intentional in, like, certain, like,
Mhm.
aspects because like, I really have just been, like, living, like, this, like, ebb and flow of, like, life for such a long time. Like, this is the first
Mhm.
time I've been in one, like, job for this long, and it's getting, like, very mundane and just kind of, like,
Mm.
routine, and I'm like, I don't know, like, I'm old enough now to where, like, I need to, like, start having, like, the confidence and stuff to, like,
Yeah.
do different, I guess.
Right. To move
I
different,
don't know.
to give yourself and not saying that you need better, but to give yourself something different
Yeah.
to give yourself more experiences in life because it's like shit. 34.
Yeah, that's
Like
insane.
you've experienced a lot, but you still have a lot more to experience.
Mhm.
And it's just like, kind of like what I was saying, there's different things that we want to try or things that interest us. Why are we not putting ourselves out there to do it?
Right. Exactly. Like, we're only getting older here. Like, what are we afraid of? Like,
Mhm.
why can't we just, like, do these things? Like, we're not here forever. Like, we're not always gonna have the same amount of, like, time and,
Mhm.
like, things. So, like, why not just, like
Opportunities, right.
exactly.
Take advantage and handle it because there's no handbook or guide to how to live your life.
Right.
There's like there are key ways to stay alive and like
She said
healthy, right?
anyways to stay alive.
But but it's not like when you turn 32, you go and do XYZ. And
Right.
then when you turn 33, you go and do ABC. Like, no, but there's really a lot. There's just so much to life.
Mhm.
And I think it's just like I said, that mental development. And it's just like shit. Like I'm keeping myself confined in this little box. And why am I?
Mhm.
Like why am I doing that? But it's a part of conditioning that we've been giving in our lives. Like
Yeah.
we've been raised in a routine of a school structure where if you think about a school structure, it's the same as a 9 to 5, right?
Mhm.
So kids are in school for this set amount of time. Same thing with our fucking jobs. So they got us used to getting out of school, going into college, and then going into quote unquote the real world, right? and doing the same shit all over again with this little box ass schedule. That shit don't work. That shit
Yeah,
doesn't work. You and I was just saying this today. We don't have time for our family. We don't have time for our friends. We don't have time for ourselves because we have to fit that profile of that 9 to 5 ish. And then whatever little bit of time you got left, you sprinkle some little shit on it and get what you can and fit in while you can. So
exactly.
it seems like for you, like you're just thinking like shit, like I gotta get more of these experiences and I gotta enjoy more of my life. And I'm happy that you're accepting that you're 34 and you're no longer 25, 24, however old you want to be. Because at the end of the day, it's just a number. And for me, when the number is higher, I know it's not applicable in all cases, but I like to think that when the number is higher, there's just more wisdom and there's more
Hopefully.
experiences,
Yeah,
but you can't say that for everybody because some people just don't got that shit. Then hey,
true.
I guess that's what make
But
the
just
world go round.
yeah.
But no, it's just more the reason to get out there and to do more and experience more. And I'm here for it. You try and go somewhere, let me know. Just let me know if the baby can come or not. I'll guess, I'm not really used to you leaving her yet, but if I gotta make arrangements, catch me later in the year.
Noted. We do need to plan something anyway, but that's a conversation for a
Definitely.
different day.
Right.
Um,
But that's
but
an
I don't know.
interesting I don't know if I want to call it like realization or epiphany or exactly what the
Kind of.
terminology is for
Yeah.
it, but yeah, that's an interesting thought to come across. Like I said, I felt something like that. Like I felt powerful when I turned 33. Like it felt like something something different for me. And
Mhm.
I know like 30 is a milestone, 30, 40, all that stuff, but
Yeah. No, I didn't
there's
feel
something about
anything
the in
for 30.
betweens.
Yeah. Or even for
Yeah.
me, 33 wasn't really anything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's because like I didn't go anywhere this year and I'm like really
Mhm.
like thinking about shit, or I'm just like, I don't
That
know.
might be it.
It's just something about 34. It's just weird.
It might be it. Even though you said you've been like in a funk and, like I don't know if you said like clouded thoughts or foggy thoughts,
Brain fog, yeah.
brain fog, there we go. Mm, mom brain, sorry. Like even though you said that, there was still something else, kind of going on and maybe like nothing happening was what you needed to be able to kind of just process some things um,
Maybe.
subconsciously. And that's just kind of what got you to here today.
Maybe. Because I don't know, but being 6 years away from 40 is pretty damn terrifying.
No one told you to keep
You know?
counting that fast. God damn. Like,
Well, that's where my brain
sheesh.
goes. I'm like, oh God, mid-30s.
Sheesh.
Ew, how did
Yeah.
we get
I
here?
can't. Between you and my boyfriend, both of y'all mofos need to stop talking about how far away 40 is. Cause I'm just like, I don't want to hear it. And he's
How
a little bit
weird.
older. He's a little bit older than us. So his number's a
Yeah.
little smaller. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be 40 in this amount of years. And it's just like, shut up, because I can count how many years I am younger than you, which then I added up, and that's how many more I have to 40. I don't
Yeah.
want to think about 40. Not that there's anything against it, but I'm just enjoying my little powerful year of the 33. And, I think part of it is powerful because of, becoming a mom. Like this
Mhm.
last year,
That's
my
true.
birthday was
Mhm.
a big thing,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, I didn't do shit for my birthday either last year, just to mention that. So,
Well, you did, but
hmm?
I said you didn't you go on vacation?
That was the year before last.
Oh. Oh, right.
Uh-huh. I know what you're talking about. But yeah, wrong year, bitch.
Alright, you got that. Alright. So anyways, on another note,
You're right. Next topic.
but just to, like, circle back, I do think now that you actually brought it up, and I'm thinking about this all and saying it out loud and stuff, but, like,
Mhm.
maybe that is why I was looking at you so hard the other day and being like, "Damn, like, you just look so grown, bitch." Like, I've never seen you in this, like, way. Just, like, the way your hair was, the way you were
Mhm.
dressed, like, taking care of your baby, like, I don't
Mhm.
know, there was just something about the whole
Girl, I was cute that day.
vibe, like maybe, I don't know, cause like, it's not the first time I've seen you, like, with your child and stuff like that, so it's
I
just
know.
like I don't know, just something hit me.
Yeah.
I got
I don't know.
smacked by something. I don't know.
Yeah.
The age fairy.
You felt my powerful 33. That's all that was.
I did. I felt something. It was just weird. I don't know, cause I couldn't I don't know. Uh,
Couldn't keep your eyes off me, huh?
No, I was starting with the both of y'all.
Oh. Well, I'm just glad to be included because when you become a parent, they fucking kick you to the curb and it's all about the baby. So thanks for including me on that.
No, of course. That's why I had to
Oh,
get you a little something, something.
I appreciate you.
Love you.
Love you too.
But
Oh.
thank you for not making me feel weird because when I was saying it, I was like, this just sounds like weird.
No, I completely understand it. So I would have just been an asshole friend if I made you feel weird about it and felt the same way.
See, this is why we work.
That would have just been messed up, and I really couldn't do that. I like playing jokes and tricks with you and stuff, but not for that because that's like that's something different. That's
Yeah,
something serious. So no,
it's true. But yeah,
we're just on the same page again.
per usual.
Per usual. Hi.
But yeah, I
Well,
mean, yeah, that's all I wanted to talk to you about because I'm like, I just need to like say this out loud to someone.
I was sitting here thinking hard. I'm like, what is she gonna talk about? I don't know what this is,
I'm sure
but
that didn't even cross your mind at all.
not at all. And like I said, the only thing I was gonna guess right before you said it is like this bitch is about to say her real age on here.
I did.
Wow.
That actually said really weird to say it out loud.
Yeah, and you fucked it up 2.2 seconds later. That fast.
I
But
did, but it's
hey,
funny though, because like no one knows like how old I am. Like I had to tell my mom, I had to tell my boyfriend, I had to tell my boyfriend's mom. Like I'm
that's
like,
so
why does nobody
crazy.
know like how old I am? I'm like, what
That's
the
so
hell?
crazy. You know, me and Nat always know your age because once you turn it, we're like, fuck, we're next.
Exactly.
More so her than me because
That's true.
I'm like, I just hit the age you left.
Right. That's true. Hmm. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to talk to Nat in a couple weeks and see how she
Yeah,
feels.
there you go. Yeah, yeah. Nat, if you're listening to this, just feel your feelings. Don't anticipate anything. Just feel your feelings.
Oh man. Hmm.
No,
Alrighty.
thank you. That was some good content for today. I appreciate that.
Of course. I'm always
Yes.
here to keep it interesting. But anyways, enough enough of our weird awkward silence and stares. That's all I have for today, and I'm gonna go out on a whim here and say Amanda has nothing else.
Facts.
Alright, so we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. It was kind of all over the place a little bit, but I think you guys get a little meaning out of it because I'm hoping some of you guys might be able to relate, whether it's taxes or just feeling feeling different about a certain age in your life. So let us know what you guys think, and we will talk to you guys next time.
Bye, guys.